to officially launch. Let us appreciate His Excellency the President.
So it's from the top coming down. That's this is around here. That's where Laser is University. So this is one block. Okay, the one block has got block Y, which is 18 floors. Students. Here in Kenya. They're from.
Your Excellency, the next one is
units on 427 acres in Uhuru.
next one is Mock Gardens. Please come forward.
550 units in Juja.
Next one, come forward. Sustainable Housing Solutions. Excellency, next
Solution, Excellency, are partners of UNOPS. They will be doing 100,000 houses. And Excellency, they will also be providing mortgages to their houses. A total investment of $5 billion.
Thank you, PS and Sustainable Solutions Limited. Thank you very much.
As the party leader of Maendeleo Chap Chap and a big supporter of the handshake between you and Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga and the BBI, I was very, very happy when I saw your speech in Mangu the other day. And I said, Hongera Rais, because you told it as it is. In a country like ours where we've got thousands and millions of unemployed young people, where we've got issues that need to be tackled, where we need to build hospitals, it actually confuses me when you see leaders just engaged in politicking. While we are here talking about houses and building, wengine weko huko, wana mikutano trying to plant seeds of discord, destroying the little we have. Na mimi nimewasoma kidogo because I'm a researcher. Na nimeona they suffer from 3 problems. One is selfishness, ingine ni ukora, na ya tatu ni uvivu. Because they don't really want to work, because it is easier to politic than to build things like this, Your Excellency. Kwa hivyo wana ugonjwa ambao wanaita selfish ukora ovuasis. Na hiyo ugonjwa lazima tuitibu na hii universal healthcare ndio wananchi waweze kupata maendeleo. Na mimi nikiwaangalia hawataki kufanya kazi kwa sababu wana uvivu. Na nakumbuka ile wimbo unaopenda sana ambao naomba wananchi, ukiona watu ambao wanazururu kwa wanapiga siasa badala ya maendeleo, tuwaimbie uvivu ni adui mkubwa wa ujenzi wa taifa, kwani ndicho kiini hasa kisababisha chonja. Hata wewe ndugu yangu, amka kumekucha, kamata jembe na panga, twende shamba, uvivu ndio adui wa ujenzi wa taifa. Housing is very important, and if you go through, when I went to school, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about shelter. And shelter is important. In this rainy season, when people are sleeping in the streets or sleeping in houses where they're being rained on, it even becomes imperative. So when you chose housing to be one of your Agenda 4, it is because your wisdom showed you that without taking care of housing, then hakuna kitu konayo. You cannot really live a decent life unless you've got good housing. I want to congratulate the team from Singapore and the investors who are involved in this project, and we've facilitated you and we will continue facilitating you as a county government to ensure that you succeed. I admire you very much because when you are Deputy Prime Minister and also at the time Minister of Finance, you got this country into austerity measures, you remember? We got rid of Mercedeses, went back to Passats and all that. You started the socio-economic zones and the country grew. And we want the country to continue growing so that we can continue moving forward. So we support your economic agenda to grow. Kuna kashida kadogo katika upande wa finance, Mheshimiwa Rais, unakuta kwamba wakati wako hakukuwa na bureaucracy sana, vitu zilikuwa zinasonga kwa upesi. Kwa hivi sasa sijui kama wamekuarifu, kwa sababu wa majamaa kama ni wale wangu wanakuficha mambo. Right now unataka stages 35 kutoka procurement mpaka mtu alipwe. Bureaucracy imezidi sana. Na inakuwa hizo 35 stages hapo katikati ya kuwezi kosa ATM. Ukataa kutoa file isongi. Wakati wako ilikuwa ukisema payment ilipwe siku 2 imelipwa. Sasa hakuna payment, ikianza process inalipwa in less than 1 or 2 weeks, which slows money in circulation. Kwa hivyo tuangalie hayo mambo, kwa sababu tuna increase, tunajaribu kupinga corruption, lakini tuna increase kwa sababu sasa imekuwa ni kama ulimbo tulikuwa tukiimba wakiwa watoto, toa ndugu toa dada, toa ndugu toa dada, ulicho na chochote basi ukikata faili inapotea, inakuwa kwamba kama hayo. Kwa hivyo tushirikiane pamoja, ikadhi bureaucracy. Hata ukilipwa CBK pia wanachunga pesa, lakini wameweka bureaucracy ambayo pili watu wakilipwa the money takes 3 days before getting to the ground. So siwe naambia Mheshimiwa Rais, unajua mimi naambia hawa wako sasa wanajua, tunajua, wanajua, tunajua, unajua.
Jameni, wacheni kukoroga wananchi. Wacheni story mingi. Wananchi wanataka kazi jameni. Wananchi wanataka mahospitali yao yawe na madawa. Tujenge mabarabara, vijana wapate kazi. Hii mambo kila saa ya kukoroga watu, ya? Jameni. Saa ingine acha nisiseme. Unajua natoboa alafu wengine wanasema ati mimi nakasirika. Nakasirika nikiona ujinga, lakini kwa ukweli, ya? Kwa ukweli, ya, ukiona vile wengine wanafanya na vile wanaongea, unashindwa kama wanaishi Kenya hii ama wanaishi dunia ingine. Kila siku tunaambiwa juu ya kesho. Tunataka kujua ya leo ni gani. Hiyo ndio haja yetu. Kwa sababu tukipanga ya leo, ya kesho sasa tutaganga, lakini kama leo ni anyway. Wanasema ati hiyo ndio kazi yao kuongea. Sawa, waongee. Ni uhuru wao. Lakini nyinyi wananchi, na waomba tufanye kazi. Tujenge nchi yetu. Tufurahie tukiona vijana wetu wakiwa kwa kazi, sio kwa mikutano ya hadhara huko. Tunataka wawe wanajenga manyumba, wako mashambani, wako kwa viwanda vyetu, wanafanya kazi. Wanaongeza ile shilingi ambayo iko kwa mfuko yao. Hiyo ndiyo haja yetu, na hiyo ndiyo tuwataka. Na hivyo ndivyo sisi wengine tutaendelea. Haswa na kazi kama kunaye ya kisiasa, ile kazi tuko naye ni kuunganisha Wakenya wetu. Vile mnaishi hapa Mlolongo, jameni, ni Machakos County. Kweli ama sio kweli? Lakini hapa mnaishi na jamii kutoka kila kona ya Kenya. Kweli ama sio kweli? Na mnaishi pamoja na wao kwa amani. Na ile shida wewe uko naye, umezaliwa hapa, ni ile shida hata ule mwingine amekuja ako naye. Anataka kazi, anataka mtoto asome, anataka kuvaa, anataka kuwa anahakikisha akienda hospitali kuna dawa, anataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba akienda nyumbani ako na kitu kwa mfuko, anunulie bibi nyama, watoto wakule, walale vizuri. Au ni namna gani jameni? Kuna tofauti kati yetu. Na ndipo tunasema hata kwa hii BBI tuache kufikiria hii mambo watu wanaongea ati nani atakuwa hii, nani atakuwa ile. Tuongee yale ambaye ina mkera mwananchi. Tuongee juu ya ufisadi na tutafanya nini kumaliza ufisadi. Tuongee juu ya vile tutaunganisha Wakenya wetu wawe kitu kimoja. Tuongee vile tutagawa pesa kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila Mkenya pahali alipo anapata share yake ya kodi. Na ndipo sasa kesho mtu hajali, kwa sababu kama mambo yako yote imeshughulikiwa, wakati wa kura ukija, kila mtu atapiga kura. Si ni kweli? Lakini mtu atakuwa amepiga kura bila hofu. Our destination, ladies and gentlemen, is to tackle the housing challenge, and this was inspired by the reality of our nation, Kenya, today. Based on recent census, our population now stands at 47 million people, of whom today 10 million are urban dwellers. And over 90% of town dwellers today live in rented houses, with approximately 65% of those living in informal settlements. In total, we have less than 25,000 mortgages. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what pressed me to find solutions that will enhance access to decent and affordable housing for our people. Today we are here as a first step to launch one of our strategic partners projects, which when completed will deliver 8,888 units. And I'm informed that Habitat Heights is the first of many housing projects, as we have heard today, that the United Nations Office of Project Services and their partners plan to undertake in our country. Indeed, UNOPS is working with Housing Finance to manage and avail low-cost mortgages for our people. Today, we are also unveiling our roadmap for the development of a further 200,000 units under the joint efforts between ourselves and the strategic partners who are here today. In September of last year, in New York, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations Office for Project Services to develop 100,000 units. To bring this MOU to effect, we have just witnessed the signing of a development agreement which will see us produce another 100,000 units beyond the first 8,888 units that are here at Habitat Heights. We have identified the land, as you have seen, where we will be developing the 100,000 units, and this new development will be well planned to become a new city featuring all the amenities of a modern metropolis. And as provided for in the Urban Areas and Cities Act, we will ensure that this is done. This project alone will inject an estimated $5 billion into the Kenyan economy, further evidence and affirmation that Kenya is a worthwhile, secure, and facilitative destination for foreign direct investment. Over the last 18 months, my government has implemented a series of measures that have laid the groundwork for affordable housing by addressing some of the systematic issues that have made housing unavailable and unaffordable, especially in our urban areas and our ever-growing peri-urban areas. We have realized that the affordability of homes was affected by high cost of land and horizontal infrastructure, which can add up to 60% of the cost of any development. And that is why we decided to make national and county government land available for projects like this at no cost. We also undertook to fund bulk infrastructure, and this commitment is also at county level, where our esteemed county governments, through the Kenya Urban Support Program, have committed to prioritize funding and development of infrastructure that will support the creation of sustainable, affordable settlements. To further enhance affordability, we have worked with various stakeholders to identify suitable tax incentives that would have a positive impact on the cost of construction. Through the Finance Act of 2019, we have provided, for example, for VAT exemptions for all inputs into our affordable housing development schemes. We have also continued to provide a 15% corporate tax rate for developers with projects producing at least 100 affordable housing units, which is half the normal corporation tax rate. With these incentives, we expect to reduce the cost of construction inputs, and commensurately, this cost reduction should translate into more affordable construction of homes for our people. Moreover, first-time house owners will be exempt of stamp duty under the Affordable Housing Scheme, in addition to enjoying the doubling of the Home Ownership Saving Plan. We have also waived NEMA and National Construction Authority fees on constructions, and we are seeking various counties to follow suit by waiving their county government development fees in order once again to further reduce the cost to ordinary mwananchi. Operationalize the housing fund and establish the Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company with the intention of providing accessible and affordable housing. Through our housing fund, registered members will have the option of accessing the tenant purchase scheme with a 7% interest rate and a tenure of 25 years. The Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company is working with financing institutions so that ordinary banks and SACCOs are able to offer attractive long-term mortgages with fixed interest rates of below 10%. The national endeavor under the Affordable Housing Program will not only provide Kenyans with decent housing, but will also provide them with the opportunities to integrate into the manufacturing pillar of the Big Four agenda. It is requirement in our planning that as far as possible, the inputs of affordable housing projects are sourced locally and especially from micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. This presents an opportunity to scale up opportunities for our MSMEs, and in particular, the informal micro-enterprise sector, who collectively constitute what we commonly refer to as our Juakali sector. We will be conducting soon the allocation of 1,370 units that were in our first flagship project at Park Road in Nairobi shortly. The first beneficiaries of Affordable Housing Program will soon be provided with keys for the completed units, and the progress that we have made is unprecedented in our country's history. Our next flagship projects in Shauri Moyo and Starehe will break ground in early 2020 and bring online another 8,000 units. These projects are part of the larger Eastlands Urban Renewal Master Plan, which will bring online an additional 168,000 units. This by replacing the decaying and dilapidated colonial era units. We will thus be able to generate a modern 177,000 units from the existing 43,000 units. These housing developments will be connected to our transport corridors, economic activity, and allow families to enjoy social amenities not more than 5 kilometers from where they reside. On the social housing side, the resettlement of Kibera Zone B residents to allow for the implementation of the redevelopment is well underway. The project will give decent homes to approximately 4,400 households who have already been enumerated. We are now in the process of selecting a suitable investor who will bring to fruition our plans for decent homes for Kibera B residents. Ladies and gentlemen, our housing pillar is being realized through a robust partnership between my government and the private sector. In that regard, we will be able to make commitments for the housing development as well as work with financiers to ensure that home buyers have access to low-cost mortgages, and in addition to the government's provision of additional financing options through the tenant purchase scheme. We believe that our efforts to strengthen the enabling environment will spur private developers to undertake projects also on private land that should yield an additional 300,000 affordable housing units following the model that the state has laid out. The state's interventions under the Affordable Housing Program are therefore and will be geared towards ensuring home ownership by low-income Kenyans is vastly enhanced. Today, we stand as witnesses to one of the first steps in the journey towards ensuring that all Kenyans have access to decent homes and dignified housing, supported by modern social amenities and integrated with our wider social, economic, as well as political and development goals. By undertaking projects such as this, we also create the next generation of businesses that will be the bedrock of our economy and which will springboard us into the better and brighter future, that of shared prosperity, which is the aspiration of all.